Hello everyone, I am Dr. Prarthna Srivastav. Today I am going to explain band theory of solids. These are the contents which we are going to cover up, like introduction of metallic bond, concept of band formation, types of band, and classification of solids on the basis of band concept. The band theory of solids explains about metallic bond. As the name suggests, metallic bond means the bonding between the atoms within a metal. We know that metals possess certain physical properties like they are malleable and ductile, they are lustrous, they are good conductor of heat and electricity, and are having higher strength. So, in order to explain how a large number of electron deficient atoms are held together within a metal, several theories were proposed, in which one of the theory was band theory of solids. As I already told you that band theory of solids explains about metallic bond. So metallic bond can be defined as the electromagnetic interaction between delocalized electrons, which are also known as conduction electrons, and the metallic nuclei within the metals. Band theory is also known as molecular orbital theory. And in molecular orbital theory, you have studied that when atomic orbitals combine, formation of molecular orbitals takes place. If n number of atomic orbitals combine, n number of molecular orbitals takes place, in which half of the molecular orbitals are bonding molecular orbitals and other half will be the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So, as we are talking about metals, or you can say solids. So, in solids, atoms are arranged in a regular close packed pattern, and if in a solid large number of atoms are there, it means large number of atomic orbitals are overlapping, large number of molecular orbitals are formed. So we can take an example. Suppose if n number of energy levels of atoms interact with each other, n number of molecular orbitals will be formed. And as the number of molecular orbitals is getting increasing, the energy difference between these molecular orbitals is getting decreasing. Like you can see from this diagram, from left to right, as the number of atomic orbitals increasing, number of molecular orbitals increasing, and the energy difference between these molecular orbitals is getting decreasing. And at the last you can see, since they are appearing as a continuous lines, or you can say continuous overlapping energy levels, so they appears like a band and it is known as band. So, in solids, n number of atomic orbitals are combining, n number of molecular orbitals are forming, and these n number of molecular orbitals with very small energy difference are known as band, or you can say energy band. The highest occupied band, which is also known as HOMO, or you can say it is also known as valence band. In valence band, valence electrons are filled, and the valence band are generally fully filled or they are partially filled. On the other hand, the next higher empty band, which is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, is known as conduction band, which is generally vacant or partially filled with electrons. You can see from this figure, at the bottom there is valence band, other is conduction band, and between valence and conduction band there is a gap, and that gap between valence and conduction band is known as energy gap, forbidden gap, band gap, or forbidden zone, where no electron can exist. On the basis of this band concept, solids can be differentiated into conductors, semiconductors, and insulators. Now come to solid, or you can say now we are coming to conductor. A solid is a conductor if it has highest occupied band, which will be either partially filled or half filled. like you can say in sodium or in potassium, or a completely filled valence band overlapping with next empty band, for example in magnesium or beryllium. So in a conductor there is no forbidden gap between valence and conduction band, so they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Whereas a solid is a semiconductor if there is a very small energy difference between valence and conduction band. So electrons can easily jump from valence to conduction band by providing smaller amount of energy in the form of heat and light. The band gap between valence and conduction band is around 1 electron volt. For example, silicon or germanium, they are having a band gap of 1 electron volt. So electron can be easily jumped from valence to conduction band by simply providing energy in the form of heat and light. On the other hand, a solid is an insulator if it has filled valence band, completely empty conduction band, and a very large energy gap between valence and conduction band. This gap is around 5 to 10 electron volt. So they are bad conductors, or you can say they are known as insulators. For example, in diamond and glass, since there is large, or you can say huge energy difference between valence and conduction band, so no electron can be jumped from valence to conduction band. Now we come to a figure. From left to right you can see in conductors, since there is no difference between valence and conduction band, so movement of electron is very easy. On the other hand, in an insulator there is a large gap between valence and conduction band, so no transference of electrons from valence to conduction band is taking place. Whereas in semiconductor, since there is a very narrow energy gap between valence and conduction band, so they can conduct electricity on providing energy in the form of heat or light, or by doping them. Thank you.